Yeah, 3 boats in Heat 3A. Again, the 9, the 11, and the 40. And then you've got 2 boats in 3B because we've had some attrition due to accidents on the water. The 91 and the 35. So Botano Homes with Gunnar O'Farrell, Andrew Tate in the 91, Miss Goodman Real Estate. Brad, did you get any information out of the Strong Racing team about what happened with Jeff Bernard in the E353 Silver Cloud Inn?
Honestly, I did not. But when this heat's over, I got to run that way. I will see if I can remember to swing by and find out what happened with him.
Yeah, you might be down there talking with Corey Peabody again. We'll see what happens. Although, watch out, Jamie Nielsen has been really good getting into that lane number 1 and having inside position. He just has to come away with a heat win at some point.
There would be some folks here from Mercury's Coffee that would be awfully happy if that happens. Here's our countdown to 5 to the 5. 1.
So tell us, Brad, a little bit about Mercury's Coffee.
Boy, I've had some fun times with those folks. They're really good people. It is a family affair. The company is led by a young man by the name of Morgan Harris. The company is based in Bellevue, Washington. They have a product which they pride themselves on, the organic coffee. I can tell you I've had some, and it is very, very good. I had my organic Morgan's coffee this morning. I had my coffee pod. So it's a small company and based out of the Pacific Northwest, and they have been very much involved from a fan perspective with unlimited hydroplane racing dating all the way back to the 1950s with Morgan's father, and his name escapes me, and that's terrible because at every venue, to include this one, he has brought me fresh cups of coffee along the way. But I've met him, I've met Morgan, the CEO, met the grandson, the wives, the kids. It's just a family affair, and they decided to sponsor the boat owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey, and they decided to sponsor it on the entire circuit, which was kind of a big step with them being based out of the Northwest. And they just honestly wanted to give back to the community. And they got hooked up with Scott and Shannon. They are very, very happy with their involvement so far. And what they've been doing at the venues along the way is they've been selling some of their product and giving away an awful lot of samples. But at this particular event, they're not. And I said, how come you're not making coffee in the pit area? And they go, back east we did, but out here we want to sit back, be with the team, and kind of watch the racing and enjoy it. So they're having a good time here. I see them. There's plenty of them walking up and down pit row, but the Morgan's Coffee sponsorship is a good one, and so far they're having a ball, and they've been successful. They've won some heats along the way, and Jamie Nielsen's doing them proud.
That's awesome. Good local company, good product. Doesn't get better than that.
And a really good drive.
Absolutely.
Because I think we've seen the progression over the course of the weekend. It gets better and better with each time out on the course, whether it's testing or in one of the heats, putting up a very strong showing, very competitive, very fun to watch to see somebody just mastering this craft of boat racing. It's fun to see the young drivers coming up and getting it done.
Talking about Jamie Nielsen, who has basically come in second with Andrew Tate in a couple of heats. He's not going to have to face him on this heat, so this could be a good chance for him to get his first heat win today.
Yeah, he gets a bit of a bye on this one, but I don't know if drawing Corey Peabody's a bye, but yeah, that's what he's going to get as we move inside 7 minutes to the start of our Heat 3A. You talk about Jamie Nielsen and, one of the young drivers coming up. Well, yeah, but this is a guy who cut his teeth in Region 10 driving against the Corey Peabodys and J. Michael Kellys of the world. And when you talk to those other drivers and you mention Jamie Nielsen, they will tell you very quickly this guy is something special, and he is not a second-place, second-fiddle driver to any of them. And if the equipment ever moves up and becomes equal to the talent of Jamie Nielsen, they're all going to have their hands full. He is a good one. And this guy, remember, he was in the Kansas City Royal Baseball Farm System. This guy gave up a career in baseball to come drive hydroplanes.
Now that is passion for the sport. That is an inspiration, really, when you have that sort of pull toward that. I mean, pro baseball prospect, that's quite the life. But choosing hydroplane racing, I like it. Maybe it was a vocation.
He still holds a few records, I understand, at Central Washington, where he played baseball there. He was a shortstop, and he was a good one.
The Wildcat,
he was a good one. I've sat and spent some time with him, and, yeah, I've spent some time with that guy, and an interesting guy. He's a little quieter than maybe, well, I won't say JMK, because he's pretty quiet, but he's kind of a quiet and reserved kind of guy, but when you get him to open up, he's really a nice man, and he loves to talk boat racing, very passionate about it. His father was an outboarder here in the Pacific Northwest, and so it's in the family. And how many times do we hear that? I went through the pit area this morning, and we're coming up on a countdown to the 5, and we are 4, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes real quickly. I'll just tell you, I went down there and talked about it being in the blood and being in the family. I had a nice conversation with Andrew Tate along with Mark Tate, and it was fun to talk to the both of them at the same time. Boats coming away from the dock. A lot of color. Corey Peabody's going to come out first, head over towards AJ, and then it's going to be the aforementioned Mercury's Coffee. Had to hold it there for just a sec, make sure he was going to pop the boat loose. Jamie Nielsen is up and gone. So is Dustin Eccles over there in front of AJ. A lot of color, my friend.
Nielsen first on the inside, or Peabody first on the inside. He definitely wasn't messing around. He wants that position. Jamie Nielsen right outside him, and then, of course, Eccles coming up on the outside up the backstretch.
The wind, oh boy.
And Corey wants to come over and say hello to Michael.
Dryer on fire. Right across the infield is the 9 with Corey Peabody. That's a sharp turn to get right back into shape and go through the start-finish.
Yeah, now Corey's
down the front
straightens it back.
Nielsen, Mercury's Coffee.
Slowly. He will come down the front straightaway. Jamie Nielsen, the Mercury's Coffee, is going to come down here. Corey starts to punch it a little bit. There goes Jamie. Jamie's going to cut the race course and head over to the other side again. Perfectly legal maneuver as long as you do it in the right spot. He did. Corey put his foot in it, and he's going to run around and maybe accelerate and come up alongside Jamie. Keep an eye on that one, guys, because as you said, Michael, this guy, Jamie Nielsen, and that U11Mercuries.com, he's got a knack of getting that inside lane.
Now, will Peabody jump through the infield? Yes, there he goes through the DMZ Dryer on Fire infield. Is he going to have room to jump in there at the start-finish? He will, as Nielsen is just coming off the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers Turn 4. Meanwhile, Eccles, Flavor Pack 40, full speed around the top end of the course, outside in lane number 4.
Now will Eccles cut across?
So Peabody and
try and take advantage.
There goes Nielsen.
Well, whatever you can do, I can do better. DMZ, Dryer and Fire infield. I'm going to go claim lane number 1 for now. Maybe Peabody will return the favor at the top end of the course again through the Dryer on Fire infield, huh?
How much time is left?
2:19. So they may be on that slow crawl. This may be their position.
Eccles looks like he's setting up.
Yeah, keep an eye on him up there, because we're just coming up now on 2 minutes, so they've got to knock off some time. But again, this is where the new start procedure comes into play, and the fact that the 80-mile-an-hour rule is not on the table, because clearly Jamie Nielsen is creeping and crawling. So's Corey, for that matter, up the backstretch.
Yeah,
they're going well below 80 miles an hour, and Peabody just lost the fire. Keep an eye on Corey.
Yeah, there was a puff of smoke, and then he went dead in the water. He's trying to get it spooled back up, and looks like he will be okay. But that
he may be okay, but that's going to shove him on the outside of Eccles when they get her. Now look at Corey's going to put his foot in it, and we are about 6 seconds away from the score up.
So they're clean at the score up. Nielsen, Eccles, Peabody,
again, this is
Yeah, here they come. It's Jamie Nielsen going to get down here to the bottom end of the race course. What it is now, it's all about protecting your lane. And I got radio guys right down below me who are radioing the two boats out front saying, Corey's coming, and Corey may want to move left. You guys better accelerate, and don't let him get overlap on you. Watch him up the backstretch, Michael.
Yeah, they will not. Dustin Eccles pulled way out in front to do any kind of thwart any kind of a leapfrog over there. Nice job by Eccles and Nielsen. But they're going to have a little bit of time now as they reach the top end of the course.
Exactly, a little bit too much excitement. We were at the 20-second marker, so this is really where your timing marks come in.
Watch them as they get ready to spool up on the outside. Peabody's going to go ahead and wind her up with 13 seconds.
That's a smart move by Peabody. In fact, he should hit the start-finish line right at the mark at full speed.
Yep, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This will be a good start. It's clean. Peabody, though, he's got the momentum on the outside. Short track on the inside, though, for Nielsen. And you've got Eccles in the tunnel coming down the front stretch. Nielsen really backed out the throttle. He's lost power.
You lost Jamie Nielsen, but you got Corey Peabody on the outside, off to his left with Dustin Eccles, and I think Dustin may have surprised Corey with the amount of acceleration he had across start-finish. AJ's in front of you.
Eccles got the inside, but Peabody really came off screaming on the outside. Watch for him to take him over as he goes up the backstretch.
Eccles pulling even with Peabody nearly as they get to the entrance pin. All doors 3. Eccles on the inside, backed off the throttle a little bit. Peabody's holding him in tight as they come around the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Peabody's going to take the lead. Eccles about 5 boat lengths back as they come down the front stretch into DQ Grill and Chill turn number 1. Peabody with the lead.
Corey Peabody, Beacon Plumbing, got about 4 boat lengths on the boat off to his left, which is Dustin Eccles in a flavor pack, but Eccles is giving ground, AJ.
Eccles looks good, then all of a sudden hit some really rough water, slowed him down. Peabody screaming off the corner. He's almost now overtaking him. Looks like he could move into first lane if he wants to.
It's over a rooster tail lead, a rooster tail and a half now for Corey Peabody as he dives into all doors turn number 3. That boat looks so good on the water right now, the Beacon Plumbing. Eccles had to back off through 1 and 2 and through 3 and 4 as well, and Peabody's going to roll to the checkered flag on this one.
Peabody won the race, turn 4, lap 2. He put it down. He got through that corner better than anybody I've seen yet on the outside, and that's where I think he won the race.
But Corey's through the corner clean down here. He'll head on up the backstretch. That's that buoy that's been in question. We heard Corey talking about it when I walked down the dock with him after his last heat win, and I think that cost Mr. Eccles when they came down here on lap 2, and that time Dustin just said, no, I'm not going to go fight that buoy another time. It's a little sharp up there. Bring our leader and our apparent winner down for a checkered flag, Michael.
Wow, a glint of the reflective blue paint as the 9, Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody, takes the checkered flag in Heat 3A.
Peabody proud as a peacock in that glinting paint scheme.
The Truss Company Heat 3A in the books, and Eccles will take second place. Good action. Yeah, Brad brings out the point about the buoy that's of question in that apex area of turn 1 to turn 2, DQ to tire factory. And AJ, can you see what he's talking about with that marker that looks a little off?
Not only is it sharp because the marker seems a little far out, but I got white caps in between turn 1 and turn 2 right now in that corner. So especially when Eccles came around the corner, I saw him try and adjust on that buoy, and man, he hit a wave, kind of bounced a little bit, really slowed him down a lot as Peabody just kept riding the speed out of turn 2 down the backstretch. It's rough through turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, that did cost Eccles. If the rough water, the marker that we've been talking about, Brad noticed at first that seems to be jutting out a little bit far, changes the attitude, the angle that you attack. Then throw in some rough water with it, and that makes for a really tough turn to negotiate.
Is it a problem getting that to adjust?
It can make it.
That's something that they could look at.
It makes it even stranger when you have each corner is now different when they should be identical.
Let's go down to the pits, Brad Luce.
Well, they don't have to be identical, but because we got asymmetrical race courses, but it's got to at least be symmetrical, if you will. When you can't change the arc of the corner partway through it, and I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just looks like it's out of line, and Corey spoke of it. I'll ask him. I'm on my way down there right now. You probably hear the golf cart here, my lovely little rod that I've got that's saving my legs and my energy. But I'll ask him about it and see what he thinks. I've got to think it's better in lane 2 than getting pinned in there on the inside if it's indeed that sharp. And it just really looks way out of line. It doesn't look right. I think one of the bigger questions that come out of that heat is what happened to Jamie Nielsen in the Mercury's.com Mercury's Coffee. Boat had been running beautifully so far this weekend, and it's like when he went to put his foot in it to come down to the start-finish line, the boat just didn't respond, and he brought her right back to the pit area. He didn't spend any time hanging around trying to figure out if he could get her back up and running. He brought it right back, so I'm going to head down there, and I think I'll start there, and then I'll grab Corey on the way back down. So bear with me here
Brad,
a minute, guys. Take it for a sec. I'll run and get Mercury's. Yes.
So do the boats, I mean, the turbines, they don't necessarily like trolling and then being asked to respond quickly, right? We saw that with Corey Peabody. He went off plane for a moment and had to restart. Are they just not happy about the new start procedure going that slow?
No, I don't think that's the issue. Again, I think it's all this learning curve. They all know that. If you take this turbine engine and you drop it all the way down or start to back it way off, you run the risk of having the whole thing drop down to what they call ground idle. And once it gets there, you've got to literally let the motor drop itself all the way down to nothing and then slowly begin to spool it all the way back up. So it's not just like touch the starter again real quick and away we go. Not going to work that way. So there's some frantic action of sorts going here around the U11. I'm looking for Jamie. I'm not seeing him. We will find Mr. Nielsen and see if we can get a word, or we'll find Scott Rainey. Scott's always good about filling us in on what's going on. The boat is back. It is up on the trailer, so they worked quickly to get the 11 back in. Looking, okay, I've got an eye on Corey. He's up at the far end. Bear with me here.
Special thanks on our broadcast to Rooster Tail Wrap-Up sponsor, Grocery Outlet, with name brands at low prices. So their trick is buying opportunistic items for less, passing the savings along to you. No club membership needed. Let the bargain hunt begin at Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. Be listening for our Hydro Rooster Tail Wrap-Up show coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast after the Apollo Columbia Cup Final. So the H1 Unlimited Heat 3A from the Truss Company. Congratulations to Corey.
Michael, I've got an update.
Plumbing.
I got an update on the U11, the Mercury's Coffee. Well, it's not much of an update, but I did speak with boat owner Scott Rainey, who said, I asked him, I said, do you know what's wrong? He says, we don't know yet. And he said Jamie felt a bit of a vibration, so rather than risk it, he just slowed it down and brought it in. But they're diving under the bonnet right now. The brain trust is on the decks, and they will ascertain what the problem is and dive into it. So Mercury's Coffee, not their best heat. But as we all know, if you're going to have a heat that's not your best, don't have it in the final. Have it earlier in the day.